Hey guys, this is SCdigger from Saving History. Right now it's about 96 degrees and about the same number in humidity here in South Carolina. We don't do a whole lot of digging in the middle of the summer. I know, kind of like you guys up north where you get snowed in and can't get out and dig, you use that time to clean relics and to sort and organize. We kind of use the same thing here in the summer when we can't get out. Just too hot, too many bugs and ticks, snakes in the woods, and frankly I'm just too old to get out there and fight this heat. So what I'm going to do is show you my process for cleaning rusty iron relics, not using electrolysis but using apple cider vinegar. So I have a traditional electrolysis setup, but as you can see, it's well, not really complicated, but it takes a little bit of equipment and setup in order to get this done. Electrolysis can be quick, can be very efficient, but you have to make sure you've got everything you need and you do it right. I'm going to show you an easier way to clean rusty iron relics simply using apple cider vinegar, Extend rust neutralizer, and a little bit of flat black spray paint. Okay, so I've got a box of rusty relics. You know, not all iron in the ground is trash. We dig some nice stuff out of the ground that's iron as well. Like, for example, this stirrup. Here's a really nice colonial hinge I'd like to preserve. Things like harness buckles, horse tack. I've got a couple of hammerheads I'm going to treat there. This is the smallest iron I think I've ever dug. And here's a couple of shelf rags from Civil War sites that we're going to treat. So we're going to put these through the process and show you what I do to clean things using apple cider vinegar. Now the first thing that I'll normally do with iron relics before I actually start the process is I'll take a little hammer. And I'm not hitting it hard, but I want to knock off any loose iron that may easily come off. See how that little piece just chipped off right there? And like I said, I don't want to destroy the item, but I'm getting anything that's loose on there before the process ever starts. And that's just going to make things work a little bit easier as we go. Well, you can just kind of see the iron flaking off, and the thing is without stopping the rusting process, this iron would continue. I mean, the rust would continue to eat this iron, and it would eventually waste away to nothing but this dust that you see down here in the bottom of the pan. So the whole goal here is preservation, because we want to basically stop the rusting process so it won't deteriorate the iron any more than it already is. Alright, so I'll keep knocking these here just a little bit so you don't have to sit and watch it, and then we'll start the process. So now I'm going to take I guess this is a 64 fluid ounces. This is 2 quarts. It cost me about $2 at the grocery store, and I'm going to completely cover everything. Now, this stuff is cheap enough where I can just use as much as I need. Matter of fact, I got a little bit more I'll go pour in just to make sure that everything is covered and get a good coverage with everything that I'm soaking. So the one thing about using apple cider vinegar to clean rusty iron is it's not a fast process. With the electrolysis you may get done in 2 or 3 days. This may take 1 or 2 weeks, but that's fine because you don't have to do anything. You just let it sit. Once the rust is gone, it's not going to eat into the iron any more than, you know, it's not going to eat into the iron at all. It's just going to remove the rust and be gone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys, because right now it's clear, you can see to the bottom, you can see everything in it. I'm going to show you what everything looks like after a day or two, and that way you can kind of see how it's starting to work and react with the iron and the rust. But I'm going to let this sit for at least a week before we do anything, And at the week mark, what I'll do is I'll take everything out. I'll use an iron brush, probably pick it a little bit and just kind of clean it up a little bit. I'll drop everything right back in the apple cider vinegar, stick it away for another week, and then just let it sit. So it's a very passive way of cleaning iron, but it's very effective. Now, one other thing, don't do this inside because it stinks. Apple cider vinegar smells like, well, it smells bad. So you don't want to do this inside. Find you a good place outside to set it, and once you get it set up, just let it go. All right, so give me a day or two. We'll come back and take a look at it, and then we'll take us about a week run, and we'll do a first cleanup and remove any rust that needs to be removed before we finish the process. Hopefully by the time we're done with this process, we're going to have some really cool iron relics that we have stabilized and preserved. Kind of like this Civil War period lock that I dug. You can see the before and the after picture there as I treated it with this exact process using apple cider vinegar. So stay tuned. Just wanted to take 1 second here to take a look at the soak after actually a little bit less than 24 hours. Just wanted to show you how the apple cider vinegar is actually already starting to react with the rust on the iron. You can see there how it is dark, almost black. You cannot see through it anymore. You can't see the items. Don't ask me what the bubbles are. I'm not gonna touch them or smell them or anything like that. But yeah, there is a chemical reaction taking place, and that apple cider vinegar is taking care of that rust. What we're gonna do is we're gonna let this run for a week. Just gonna leave it out here, not gonna do anything with it. We're gonna come back in 1 week and see where we're at. So it's been actually a little over a week since we put our iron relics in the apple cider vinegar, but we took a little vacation, went up to Nashville, listened to some music, and the longer it soaks, the better anyway. So let's go down here and take a look and see what our mixture, I guess you could say, looks like at this point. As you can see, it is black and yucky and bubbly, and we'll reach down in here and you can just see that, find something, how all of that rust is just rubbing off in my hands. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these items. I've got a brass bristle brush here. Normally I do this over at the hose pipe, but that's not real conducive for shooting a video, so I got me a nice tub of water here, and I'm going to do some of the cleanup here. I'm not going to do everything on camera because that'll get kind of boring, but when I dip this into water, I want you to look and see all of that that's coming off. Now I'm not even brushing it, I'm just dipping it in the water. Now like I said, I'm going to do some brushing of everything. There's the stirrup, there's the hammerhead, and again, you see all the stuff coming off on my hands. Let's see what else we got in here. There's the horseshoe, and some of the stuff may be ready to go. Some of it I may put in for another soak, and I'll probably do that just for the sake of exercise. I'll put some fresh apple cider vinegar in here, run it, heck, who knows, let it soak another week. You can see like how the hammer is virtually black. There's a rust right there, and if you notice, you see that rust just flakes right off of there. And so I'll do a little bit of scraping, a little bit of chipping. See what else is here. There's that little iron buckle. What's that? That's that iron. And I think that's about it. You see down here at the bottom, all that rust that's come off of there. So let's do a little brushing and scraping, and then we'll talk about the next step. Alrighty guys, so you can see my reflection here, so I'm kind of sort of talking to you. And basically I'm going to take all the items in here and give everything a good brushing. As you can see, I mean, the rust is just coming off. So the extra long soak, so you can see the rust there on the tip. Brushing it, and of course there it is no more. So we'll brush everything real well. If there's some thicker pieces, we can chip them a little bit, but it looks like we've gotten a pretty good soaking. Matter of fact, it's almost even silver a little bit. Alright, so I know this is kind of boring. I'm not going to make you guys sit and watch me brush all this stuff. I'm going to clean it, and then we'll look and see where we're at, and I'll kind of show you what everything looks like at this stage. Okay, so now we have completed a second week soak and scrub. I saved you the misery of just watching me scrub it again. It's the exact same process that we did a week before in terms of cleaning. But now, as we go down here and look at the items, we are pretty much down to the bare metal. You see the strap end, and what's really cool, you can now see from the cleaning, you know, where the blacksmith made this thing and bent it over, you can actually see the crease where the steel was bent to make the hinge. But anyway, we've got all of the items down to bare metal, but as you can see, they're kind of wet right now. So the next step in the process is to actually let these things dry out. Now, I know some people actually will take them and bake them in the oven, put it at the lowest setting and let it dry out. It's 97 degrees out here. It's sunny. Well, it was sunny, but it's coming in and out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let these naturally dry out because I want all of the moisture out of all the pores before I do anything else again. Now, one of the things that you will probably see when you do this is the pieces will pick up some very light surface rust. I mean, it'll look like they're rusting again, but it's superficial. Again, it's just surface rust, and that's what we will use this Extend rust converter for. So once I know that these are completely dried out, I will treat these with the Extend rust neutralizer. And so what that will do is that'll knock out that surface rust that develops while these things dry out, and it'll take care of any rust coming back in the future, and any rust that might be still on the items here. So we're going to let these sit and dry. I'm going to let them sit here most of the day today, and once they're done with that, I'm going to treat them with the rust extender, let that dry for a day, and then we'll have our final step of coating them with some flat black paint. Time for the next step, rust converter. All right, so I got this Loctite Extend rust neutralizer. I think I got it at Advanced Auto Parts or something like that, but you can get similar type of sprays at any home store like Lowe's or Home Depot or anything like that. As it reads, it says it converts light rust to a paintable surface. Okay, well, I actually am painting it. As I said, when the iron objects dry out, I told you they would probably pick up a very, very light coat of rust. I mean, you'll see it, but it's superficial surface rust. Let me just show you, like how, I know the lighting's kind of funny, but you see how it's, you know, it's red. It's kind of a rust color now, but all of the rust, you see the surface, all that heavy rust is gone. But what we're going to do is we're going to spray it with this rust converter, which will treat this very light superficial layer of rust that it picks back up. You just see it on some of the objects here.
See on that strap in. But we're going to treat all of these and let it dry, and then from there, probably let it dry about a day, and then we will, we'll finish this project up with a coating of flat black and make it look like original iron. You'll see it'll darken it, but it's not a finish, really, like you would want to display. Which at this point you could leave it with just the rust converter, because it'll pretty much turn it black if you want. But I just, like I said, for a more finished look, I tend to go with the flat black paint once I'm done. So everything has a really good coating of the rust neutralizer. On to the final step. There you go, our process is complete. Process is pretty simple. It takes a little bit of time, but not a lot of hard work. Let's take a look at our results. So if you've got any questions about the process, just put them in the comments below. Or if you have a comment to add in terms of the process you might use to clean rusty iron relics as well, we also want you to post your comments below. So thanks for watching. I hope this video has helped you out a little bit. For Saving History, I'm SCdigger.